Okay, happy Wednesday evening. Chief Meteorologist Erika Lopez here in the KVUE Storm Center, giving you the latest update coming out from the National Hurricane Center. This is out of the 4 p.m. advisory. They're now doing hourly by hourly advisories, but I just wanted to catch you up to speed if you haven't caught up with what's going on with the forecast so far and our current conditions with Hurricane Laura. Also, we have our newscast that's going to start in about 25 minutes. So this is going to be kind of a shorter update, but I'll try to go through everything in the latest forecast, which hasn't changed much. We were expecting Laura to intensify, and wind speeds are now sustained at 145 miles an hour. So it's increased about 5 miles an hour wind speed since the last advisory. And what has changed also is that it's moving slightly slower to the northwest. It's now moving at 15 miles an hour. Earlier this evening, or this afternoon, I should say, it was moving at about 17 miles an hour. So we want to keep this momentum going with this storm because the quicker it gets out of here, the less damage we're going to be dealing with, although we're still talking about catastrophic and very deadly situation for anyone who's in the path. I do want to show you the current wind speeds right now and wind gusts that are occurring for those who are in the path of this storm. We're seeing wind gusts of up to 30 miles an hour already in areas such as Galveston, also Lufkin, Alexandria, and then wind speeds are sustained in the 15-mile-an-hour range. So we haven't quite seen tropical storm force winds quite just yet in these areas, although there have been some outer rain bands that have started making their way into this region. So I want to show you the big picture of where Laura is. It's about now 150 miles from making landfall. We can measure it out actually to see the exact location. So what I'm going to do is pause this loop. It's a time-lapse loop of about 3 hours, and we're going to go from the center of the eye wall all the way to land. So it's expected to make landfall around the state line of Texas and Louisiana, about 129 miles an hour, or miles away from it now, the center of hurricane. And we're still projecting landfall overnight tonight. After midnight, we'll have live updates when this does happen here on KVUE on the TV side and also on the digital side. So if you want to tune in, we'll be here walking you guys through this system step by step. But there is already a tornado threat to talk about. So here's what radar is showing at this moment. See the yellow polygon? That is a tornado watch that's in effect. And yes, with tropical systems, there is always a tornado threat, and we have seen significant warnings being issued along this rain band that's pushing through, approaching the Alexandria area, but right now 3 consecutive tornado warnings around the Jackson area. So typically when we're talking about tornadoes with tropical systems, they are weaker, they are shorter lived, but it's still something that can be quite devastating and damaging, on top of the fact that we're dealing with tropical storm force winds at this moment within these rain bands, and also heavy rain that's associated with this system. Okay, let's talk about the latest forecast cone and walk you through hour by hour what we're expecting. Landfall as a Category 4 hurricane overnight tonight, and it's going to continue to race up the state line overnight into early tomorrow morning. So here we are, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll have live updates. Jason Michael will have live updates here on KVUE as we're still talking about potentially a Cat 4, but bringing in major flash flooding issues still from Lake Charles, getting the back end of this system. Now Alexandria picking up the dirty side of this system, and then Shreveport likely seeing a direct hit of a Cat 4 hurricane. This is by noon on Thursday. So we're now talking about 12 miles or 12 hours of the system moving inland, and it's still potentially a Cat 4 before it quickly starts to weaken down to a tropical storm. And we're still monitoring Tropical Storm Laura with flash flooding concerns for the Little Rock area and a good chunk of Arkansas. So we have a long ways to go with this system, which is why it's such a big deal. It is breaking records left and right, and quite the historic system. We haven't had a let's see, Category 4 hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico since we've only had 7 total in the Gulf of Mexico since 1950. So this is why this is so historic out there. And then actually I wanted to show you this graphic. Hunter is here with me and pulling in a lot of data, and he just built this from since records started in 1851, just how few Category 4 hurricanes have made landfall, and then how few Category 5 hurricanes have made landfall across the Gulf Coast and also across the East Coast. So this is a very historic situation that we'll be walking you through, and obviously praying for all of those across the coast, the Gulf Coast, and those who are in the path of this system. Now, the good news is that since it's moving inland at a rapid pace, flooding, it's going to happen. There will be flash flood watches. There will be rivers and bayous that cause major flooding issues out there. There will be water rescues. We hope not many, but the situation could be worse if this system was not moving out of the region at a rapid speed. So our biggest concern is going to be the damage with Category 4 hurricane force winds as it moves through the state line of Texas and Louisiana and into Arkansas. And then our major concern is also storm surge. This will be deadly for those that chose not to heed the warnings and evacuate. There are a lot of mandatory evacuations in place. And this is the reason why, because storm surge potentially of up to 20 feet in some of these isolated areas, especially for the Louisiana coast. So I'm going to let you guys go. We're going to get ready for the TV side on the latest updates with Hurricane Laura. Tune in. We'll have the latest. Make sure to download the KVUE app if it's not already in your phone. Very handy. We have live updates there also. All you have to do is download it, turn on the notifications. You can watch radar with us as well. And we'll be giving you the latest digitally and also on the TV side. So we'll chat with you soon.